Welcome, everyone, to the Daily Juice podcast on the Betting Pros Network. I'm your host, Sean Stacking the Money Green. Give me a follow on Twitter at Sean T. Green. And as always, Daily Juice is being brought to you by BetMGM. Use the promo code JUICE and a $10 bet scores you $200 if either team scores a touchdown. That applies for college and for pros. All right, recapping Thursday night football. Not a great night. Because oh man, what a brutal backdoor by the Chargers there. Went 1-2 overall, down about 3 units. All right, let's get the first touchdowns out of the way. Didn't hit, although, to my credit, Noah Gray, Fortson clearly are part of the game plan. And, Fortson got a goal line look there, so didn't feel completely off on that. Fullbacks are always fun as well to work into the first touchdown stuff. Backup tight ends. Tight ends with high prices that, for whatever reason the market isn't on. Those are always fun. Fullback hit. What are you going to do? Chiefs get the win, 27-24. Do not cover the spread. Andy Reid, if you have Patrick Mahomes, you should not be kicking 19-yard field goals. That should never happen. Any field goal under 20 yards with Patrick Mahomes, you're crazy. Come on. That, to me, was the difference in the game as far as getting that cover. And then, they broke off that long run, got it down to the 30 or it was like the 25. I'm like, oh no, because I saw it coming a mile away. I was in the Daily Juice Discord, bettingpros.com/chat, and I go, you know what? They're leaving the back door open. The Chiefs are going to kick a field goal, and then the Chargers are going to get this garbage touchdown at the end of the game to cover the +4. And man, it seemed like, okay, Justin Herbert, he got banged up really bad. 3rd and 1. He couldn't even scramble for the yard. Like, he easily had it. He, threw it away. He could barely throw the ball. Next play, he throws, a 45-yard dart to Carter, gets it all the way down to the 9, and they go, okay, this is cooked. And they drag it out. First down, incomplete. Second down, or maybe they had a couple completions. Either way, they weren't getting in the end zone until 4th down. The last play, they get it in. You could have kicked the field goal there. I was really hoping that was what was going to get us out of it, is that, being down 2 scores, they would realize, hey, we kick the field goal as soon as you get in range, so you have more time for the touchdown. Didn't do that. They almost got the onside kick, and then I would have had to root for the Chargers, get it into overtime, and maybe cover the 4 there. Under was never in question. I wasn't on the total there, but everyone being on the over, that's always a red flag as well. So, man, what an annoying sweat. But hey, as a guy who had Steelers money line last week and Steelers with the points, yeah, it's gonna come back. These things come and go. Gambling gods had to get some back there with that. It was just rough, and then you saw it coming a mile away. You're like, what are you doing? But Andy Reid, really, you gotta kick a field goal at the 19-yard field goal with Patrick Mahomes. I don't care. Like, what are you doing there? And shout out to the Chiefs defense. The annoying part was I think I did pretty decent with the handicap. I thought the Chiefs defense was better than people thought. That pick 6 obviously was huge for them. I thought they'd be able to pressure Justin Herbert, which they were. I thought Karlaftis would be in the backfield a lot. He was. I thought not having Keenan Allen hurt the Chargers just really wasn't quite enough to get that outright cover of the 4. But hey, that's why they call it gambling. I did hit on Austin Eckler under rushing yards. That came in. Again, they're going to use him more as a passer. And shout out to D. Nizzy in the Betting Pros Discord. He was all over the catches. He had 5 catches, 6, 7, 8, 9, played all those variations. They all came in because he was – no Keenan Allen. Austin Eckler is going to get a ton of work there. And I was on a similar angle with just the idea of hey, he's going to get his yards receiving. If they do rush him, he's just not super efficient rushing right now. So always looking to fade his rushing yards right now until something changes. So, all right, a little unfortunate there, but hey, we got a couple college games tonight. And I got an early play for the NFL slate. Then we got a huge Saturday slate for college football. And then, of course, the National Football League coming at you on Sunday. So plenty of time, plenty of bets to get right here for the end of the week. Hey, speaking of getting right, you know how awesome a DeAndre Swift jersey would look hanging up in your man cave, or maybe even walking around with it. It's an autographed DeAndre Swift jersey, courtesy of Pristine Auction. All you got to do, go to youtube.com/bettingpros, subscribe to the channel, then comment on this very video, and you are automatically entered to win an autographed DeAndre Swift jersey, courtesy of our good buddies over at Pristine Auction. And that Lions blue, I don't know if it's a powder blue, whatever that blue is, that thing really looks sharp. All right, talking a little Friday night college football, FSU at Louisville. I'm taking Louisville plus 2.5. You could get that over on WinBet. You know, FSU is coming off a bye, which I don't know if it really helps you early on in the season, especially if you got some momentum. They had that big win against LSU, but now I think Louisville is, you know, they started out rough with that loss to Syracuse and even that first half in Central Florida, but that second half in against Central Florida, I think some things click for them. One, hey, Malik Willis is really good. He's hard to tackle. I called him Malik Willis. Malik Cunningham is really hard to tackle. Let's let him run around. He's very, you know, that is his strength. He creates athletic plays with his feet. The offense hadn't looked great up until that point, but really, why I'm really on this Louisville team is I thought their defense, especially in that second half, played really well against UCF. That D-line got some really good pressure. So I think the defense continues to improve. And I think we're buying Louisville at the right time, right? Like, their stock is still pretty low. Even though they went into Central Florida and got the win, they started off with 2 road games. Now they have a home opener on a Friday night. I think they are going to get up for this game in a big way. And again, I think I keep calling him Malik Willis. I keep thinking about the Titans and my Malik Willis Rookie of the Year bet. Malik Cunningham's ability to run will certainly keep them in this game and get the cover there. So next up, Air Force at Wyoming. They head up to Laramie, Wyoming. Wyoming is a 16.5-point home dog over on DraftKings. Taking Wyoming all day. Air Force has actually lost outright their last 3 games in Laramie. This Air Force team is better, obviously, than those previous teams. And Air Force has been playing really well. I think Wyoming has a lot going for them. One, I think their defense is a little bit underrated, especially their ability to create turnovers. Past couple games, Wyoming has created 5 turnovers. And Air Force, if they have one weakness, it's that they've been fumbling a bunch. So I think what's going to happen is Wyoming is going to be able to slow the game down. You know, the pace they play with, they can kind of match Air Force in some ways. And, you know, Wyoming just needs a couple big plays to cover this spread. And you throw in the fact of a couple fumbles here or there. I think the home crowd also going to be involved. I love taking home dogs on Friday night in college football. Any sort of primetime situation for a home dog, I'm all over it. And I think this Wyoming team, again, are they amazing? No, that's why they're a 16.5-point home dog. But can they make this a game? 100%. So give me Wyoming catching 16.5 tonight under the lights in Laramie, Wyoming. Hey, have you guys signed up for our sleeper group yet? Sleeper.com/dailyjuice. 100% deposit bonus up to $100. You can win 2x all the way up to 20x the amount you put in. What's really awesome, if you're a fantasy player as well and you have a league on Sleeper, it automatically integrates the player props with your fantasy matchup. So if you want to bet on your guys, or if you want to kind of troll your opponent and take all their unders, it's pretty fun to play. I've been doing it a bunch, and if you put your picks in the chat, it's like essentially a group chat, but you can just easily copy people's picks. Sleeper.com/dailyjuice. I like putting together the 3Xers, the 3-teamers of the player props. It's 5X or 6X, depending on the sport and the guys you put in there. One sleeper play I like for this Sunday Night Football. Give me David Montgomery over 16.5 receiving yards. I think Green Bay is going to be able to get some pressure on this Bears team, and we saw it a number of times. David Montgomery is the running back they have in obvious pass down situations. I think they trust him for pass protection. He got a number of little like dump offs, and I think they're still going to use him in the screen game. So for me, over 16.5, David Montgomery receiving yards, sleeper.com/dailyjuice. That is my play over there. And again, 100% deposit bonus up to $100. You cannot go wrong. All right, Colts at Jags. Early NFL play. Give me the Jags +4. Get that over at BetMGM. I'm putting 2 units on it. A lot of people are already moving this down to 3.5. So if you like the Jags like I do, +4, probably a good time to bet it now. The line is moving for a number of reasons, one of which is the injury report. Again, we're taping this. I'm taping this Thursday night here, and it doesn't look good for a number of key Colts players, including DeForest Buckner did not practice. Cornerback Kenny Moore did not practice. And to me, a huge impact is Michael Pittman did not practice. Now, Michael Pittman in particular, not practicing on Thursday. Usually Friday determines whether or not they're actually going to play. But Michael Pittman started out at limited and then got downgraded to not practicing. So if you're going the opposite way on the practice reports, that's usually a red flag that you're not going to play. Now, who knows? Maybe he has a miraculous recovery or they're being super, super safe. Either way, I don't think he's going to be 100% out there. And if you watch that Colts-Texans game like I did, you saw that he was really a big part of their offense. Obviously, they still have Jonathan Taylor, but if he can't go or if he's limited, I think that makes the Jags defense so much easier. And again, I've mentioned it when we talked about Colts, how they struggle in the opening game of the season. They also always struggle in Jacksonville. Great little trivia question here, but the last time the Colts won in Jacksonville, 2014. And there's been some really bad Jags teams over the years getting wins against this Colts team. And a lot of it is Colts have had older quarterbacks. Playing down in Florida, especially this time of year, is always tough. You got the heat, the humidity. It's Jacksonville in September. It's just not ideal condition to play, especially if you're an older quarterback like Matt Ryan. And I think Christian Kirk is going to be able to get his. He was a bright spot for the Jags offense in Washington last week. I think they're going to go out of their way to feed him, and maybe even James Robinson in the passing game. It looks like Darius Shaquille Leonard will be able to go for the Colts, but again, he didn't play last week. I don't know how close he will be to 100%. So I think the Jags have a lot going for them as a 4-point home dog. Get that over on BetMGM. So Jags +4 for 2 units over at BetMGM. Then we got Wyoming +16.5. Get that over on DraftKings. Last but not least, Louisville +2.5 over on Wynn. Follow us on TikTok at Betting Pros. Of course, BetMGM, promo code JUICE. $10 bet gets you $200 if a team scores a touchdown, college or NFL. Follow me on Twitter at Sean T. Green. Check out my other show, Sports Gambling Podcast. Drop the NFL NFL Week 2 picks podcast and a prop bet podcast as well. Check those guys out. And we will be back tomorrow because we're back every day picking tons of games. Again, Daily Juice has been so much fun. As football season's taken off, thanks to all the new listeners, the seasonal listeners coming back for football season. Let's go. Let's have a massive season. If I haven't chatted with you in the Betting Pros Discord, feel free to introduce yourself at Sean T. Green in the Betting Pros Discord as well. You guys know what to do. Subscribe, rate, and review. And as always, don't forget to let it ride.